Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Love Island USA season 7 coverage here on RHAP. I'm, of course, Kirsten MacInnis. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host Brian Scally. Scally, how are you? I can't.
Ooh, hello. Not the season several reference. I was
Yikes.
so excited to be here. Us in Love Island, it's string theory. We were always coming back talking about Love Island USA 7. Biggest show, I don't know, ever. Can't wait for the follow-up to last year. And
Yes.
here we finally are.
Yes. And so before we get into it, a little bit of housekeeping. If you like video podcasts, boy, do we have news for you. If you go to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RHAP, you will find video of our recaps all summer long. You can chat to us in the comments. We will be there yapping because we don't know how to shut up, and that will be wonderful. But wait, there's more. You might be listening to this podcast on the We Know Reality TV feed. You might be listening to this podcast on the Hot Dummies on Islands feed. But did you know that the best podcasts actually have 3 places where you can listen to them? And coming very soon, you will be able to listen all summer long on the We Know Love Island feed, where it is just Love Island, no other hot dummies to distract you or turn your head. It's all us, baby.
Ooh, the podcast's so nice. You subscribe to it thrice. I am so excited about the new launch. Did see the artwork. It looks very cute. So I think, go, same hot dummies, just a different location.
Yes, and it's not this episode needs to come out so that there's something to put in the feed so that you can subscribe to the feed. So the feed will be there soon. And if you could go to the We Know Love Island feed on whatever podcatcher you listen to, Spotify, Apple, there's a million, any of them, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you'll be able to listen to We Know Love Island. And if you could give us a quick little 5-star rating, a little review, that is the easiest way to help new people find the show, especially at the start of a new season of Love Island, but also especially when it is a brand new podcast feed that has never existed before. We've Scally and I launched Hot Dummies on Islands during season 1 of Love Island USA, and we are once again back to request a 5-star rating and review, and we will read them on the pod.
Look, I only read those 5-star reviews. My brain auto scans. I think Taylor says he likes a nice smile, big butts, nice toes, and 5-star reviews. Very excited to go see what you guys have to say there. Let us know what you're thinking about the season already.
Yes, we've been to 42 countries and there's different kinds of 5-star reviews from all of them. And we love it. But okay, that's enough of the housekeeping. We don't want to scare people away. We are here to break down the Love Island USA season 7 premiere episode. Again, I can't talk. My brain is malfunctioning because freaking Peacock released the episode like 45 minutes late?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm used to Peacock's accidentally early schedule of it coming out at 8:20 every single week. So I am there sitting on my computer refreshing for a solid hour and 20 waiting for this episode to drop. And I could have watched a whole this episode twice if it dropped on time
Yeah.
because it was a painstaking process waiting for a great episode, but a very late episode.
Yes, and I'm in Canada, so we watch on Crave, and normally everyone gets it early on Peacock, and then on Crave we have to wait until like 6:01, 9:01, and it shows up. Sometimes it shows up like an hour late for us, and they don't even have the courtesy of letting us know it's going to be late. We're just waiting on what they'll you get what you get, and you don't get upset when it comes to streaming in Canada. But for once, we had it first, and I was watching the show, posting on Blue Sky, and I was like, am I the only person in the world watching this show? Like, it was a very strange and surreal experience.
I saw people posting screenshots and I was like, how did you hack Peacock? I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't need these spoilers, but you know what? There was so much stuff happening in this episode that regardless of how much I saw a little bit in advance, it was impossible to spoil me on everything.
Yeah, and I was, like, trying to post my thoughts without being, like, too spoilery. Like, it was an interesting line to walk, but let's get into it. So they opened with a lip sync again. Last year was the first time they did the lip sync, right?
It was like, were the Islanders lip syncing this hard? I don't even remember. This I felt like was particularly bad. It felt like really cringy. I forced my friend to be in a TikTok, even though they aggressively don't want to be in it. So some of this lip syncing was awful. I thought the choreographed dance, cute, fun. Like I was down for the cheesy opening. Uh it didn't hit like last time for me.
No, like some moments are instantly iconic, and Cordell with the suitcase, like jumping and spinning, was one of those moments. And so I just don't think we got anything like that in the intro, which is not bad or an indictment on it. It's just we've seen like the highs that we can have, and it just
Yeah.
didn't quite meet that, which is it's fine. We've got the whole
Look,
season to do it.
I will say the shipping container Brady bunchification of the Love Island cast was very funny to watch
I
them all dancing.
Okay, I loved that. And then I saw a post that was like, "Oh, these shipping containers are making me think of human trafficking." And I was like, Okay, well, thanks for sucking the fun out of that."
Okay,
But
well,
then I was also like, I mean, what is Love Island if not? None of these people are from Fiji. They
okay,
don't
well,
have their passports.
there's some differences in thought processes here, apparently. Because I was just watching Ariana, and I gotta say, she looked well prepared for the lip sync, for the dancing. Ariana is
She
back,
always
and I
is.
think she's killing it.
Yeah, it tens across the board for Ariana this episode. She looks stunning. I know I saw some people think that maybe the straight hair at the start was perhaps not the best extensions. But like, listen, I just finished watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, so the bar for bad extensions is quite low for
Well, I was gonna
me.
say it's a different product. It's fine, but yeah, as much as Ariana's hair might have had a couple of upgrades, so has the villa. There is now a
Yes.
couple new rooms. We have a speakeasy, a sauna, a photo booth. I don't know how conducive these are going to be to filming conversations, but I'm down to mix it up. I'm willing to watch them inside once in a while.
Well, I think because it is happening a little earlier than normal that they're back in rainy season in Fiji, and so they need to have some options for indoor hangs, or else it's just going to be season 1 all over again, where they're like out under the smallest little, uh, I can't even think of the word, but like
The
they have like
friggin'
just like a
awnings.
yes, the smallest little awning in the world, like while it pours torrentially on them. So I think that it's smart to have some inside options. Ariana did a TikTok tour of the villa that came out yesterday. And so I thought that was really cute and well done. The social media for the show has been also very good. And I think it looks great in there. And maybe it's because I'm a millennial, but I freaking love all of the checkerboard pattern pillows and everything throughout the villa. I'm like, yes, bring back checkerboard. I'm so ready.
I felt like from the press to the new additions, everything's giving budget. You can tell that they have a lot of faith in the show after the success of last
Yes.
season. Obviously, we've heard rumors and or announcements about potential spin-offs as well. So they are all in on Love Island, as am I at this point.
Yes. As we have been in the trenches before anyone was watching Love Island USA, before Love Island USA hit its true stride, we have been here from day one. And so I'm really excited that after last year, it seems like everyone else is just on board with us
Yeah.
finally.
CBS fumbled, and that's their loss. Peacock knew they had a good product, and so let's start talking about these people though, because
Yes.
there's a lot of Islanders coming in today.
Yes. So the first two to walk in are Shelly and Alondria. And
Mhm.
so Shelly is 27. She lives in Queens, New York. She's a day trader. People are surprised to hear that she's smart. She has dated girls before, but she doesn't put labels on her sexuality, and she does not play about good sex. She said they say you can teach it, but I don't believe that.
I love queer representation on
Yes.
the show. It'd be nice if they let her actually explore that on the show. We'll see if that's the case. But so far, really like Shelley. I think a perfect first of two people to enter the villa. They always do a pretty good job picking who we will be introduced to first. And Shelley makes complete sense here. Immediately jumps off the screen.
Yes, she has. I like literally both of these two first women to walk in. I was like, okay, yes, come on, star power. Like we've got this. Really excited to see where Shelley goes, and of course, we've all been on social media. Okay, so we know we'll get to the rest of the Shelley stuff, but like, come on. Alondra is 27. She's from Alabama. She loves a Southern man. She doesn't think she should have to touch a door at all in the presence of her man. I didn't know she works in the elevator and escalator industry, which I was like, I'm not sure what job she does, but I'm pretty sure that's a high paying industry.
Ooh, okay. I don't know if it's sales, if it's technician, if it's whatever, but you know what? Alondria also coming in, very fun addition to the villa. I love where she says that her mom told her to make out to the best of her ability.
She goes, my mom said, like, if I have to make out, make sure I'm making out to the best of my ability. And it's like, first of all, yeah, you're gonna have to make out it's Love Island. What are you thinking? But also the fact that her mom is like, her mom has so much confidence in her ability to make out that she's like, just do your best. Like, you can do this.
You're my child. I know. Look, I love it. I like know what you're here to do. I think that this was a super fun entrance, and I am immediately in.
Yes, agreed. Then we got, the one solo entrance, and that was Huda. She's 24 from North Carolina, right in Rob's neck of the woods. She's a fitness coach, grew up in a Middle Eastern household, and she has a daughter who is 5 years old. She has never introduced a man to her child. And like, this is where it's so weird because she immediately tells Shelley and Alondria that she has a child. She's like, I have a daughter. She's 5. But then she says, oh, but also like, I'm not going to tell anyone else. Like, can you keep it a secret? Crazy behavior.
I just like, I get that the vibes were really good. Shelley and Alondria, I would want to tell every detail of my life to immediately, like, please be my friends. But I probably wouldn't drop the one thing that I am desperate to keep a secret.
But also, and I don't know, maybe this is a hot take and maybe I'm the problem. So please feel free to check me on this. But I think if you are dating and you have a child, it's really important to be upfront about that because you will always have options when you're dating, but there are things that could limit your options. Sometimes having a child could limit your options, and I think it is, especially everyone's so young for the most part on this season, like I think it's valid if someone is like, "Whoa, I'm not ready for that." And it's kind of mean to be like, "No, I need them to be all in on me before I tell them." Like that's kind of trapping them.
Okay, I have thoughts. First of all, it'd be nice if they cast a man over 24. Then
Period.
also, it was, and there's a couple, but whatever, you get my point. I think that this is a point. You are going on Love Island, you want to have fun, and you don't want to be written off immediately, getting written off as an OG. You could be out of this villa in 24 hours. That is not the journey I want. And so, even if I have to tell someone later and it goes badly, well, at least I got a couple days out of this. At least, like they got to know me and didn't immediately write me off. I think that it is okay for me. There is enough time where I don't think she's going to hold on to this till the end of the season, and then in the final recoupling be like, by the way, you're ready to be a dad. Like, I don't think that's happening. So I will say I am very excited for when she does drop the news, but
Yes.
we're not there
Well,
yet.
you make a very good point, but the other thing is, this is not a show that's just filmed and then released. The bombshells are seeing this. So someone's going to come in and be like, Huda has a kid and didn't tell you. And
Yeah.
that will be good drama. We love mess, but it
Look,
maybe will hurt Huda's long-term prospects for finding her true love in the villa, perhaps.
I'm hoping before they get access to these bombshells later in the episode that she's like, by the way, I got something to tell you real quick, because it almost gets revealed in a cheeky little way later, but it's not quite ready. I'm hoping that she gets to do it on her own time. I feel like that would be such a dick
Mhm.
move to drop it for her, but I don't think
Yeah,
it's
but,
like,
like, people come in, they want screen time, they want the
oh,
opportunity to break up a couple, like, you know there are people who would do it.
Love Island is built on dick moves. Like that is
In
like,
multiple ways,
yes.
double entendre intended.
Yes. So I'm not saying I don't see it happening. It's just like, that would suck, because I also am really liking Hada. I think that she has been great so far. I'm really enjoying seeing a single mom on Love Island. There's no reason why she should not be here. And so I am very, very interested for once she does decide to drop it. Hopefully it's on her own terms. I want to
Yes.
see how it goes.
Absolutely. And yeah, to that point, I loved when she said, if you have a problem with me going on Love Island to find the love of my life because I'm a mom, I want you to rewind that back in your brain and just think about what you just thought. I thought that was like a really good way to have it in the show, because I feel like it's not attacking people that would maybe be like, oh, she's a mom, but also could be just enough to like get someone to think. And so I did like the way that she put that.
For
But
sure,
don't
for
worry,
sure.
there are two more women coming in. And then they did this as well. Like, for the last two people to come in for both groups, one of them came by boat and one came by car, which was very odd to me. So Bella came in by vehicle. Bella spelled crazy, by the way. BELLE dash A. Never
Look.
seen anything like it in my life. She didn't name herself. It's not her fault. It's crazy.
uh, Bella, 22, from Oregon, originally has moved to Hawaii. She is talking about how she is so positive. She might be a little bit delulu, but everyone needs a Bella in their life, which I am so far getting the vibes of like, this is a very young person who
Yes.
I am not putting a lot of stock in actually coming out of Love Island with a super successful relationship. But if she's fun, great. Problem is, she's not that fun so far.
I mean, she said that Delulu is the Salulu, and I think we should all live by that mantra. But yeah, she's talking immediately about how she wants to find her man, she wants to get married, she wants to lock it down. I'm just, baby, you're 22, you should be in the club. What do you mean? You're on Love Island. Like, have a fun summer, be messy, and just see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. She is the one who has a very strict no kisses on day one policy. So at the end of the episode, we still don't have anything more than a peck on the cheek from Bella. I'm curious to see how she does open up, because right now I think like it's a slow burn. It's giving slow burn.
Yeah, and we know how you feel about slow burn.
Mm-mm.
Uh, then we get our last woman. It's Yulisa. She's 27 from Miami. She makes a point of saying she's 4'10", and she could get like a accessibility thing for her car, but she won't do that. Uh, she had a 9-year relationship and was left for another girl. Uh, she said she'll suck a toe.
Look, thanks for including all of the important information in your intro package. Like only the highlights.
It's like, yeah, okay, so what's your job? How long was your last relationship? Would you suck a toe? That's
Here's the
all they're
thing.
asking in casting.
I feel like 3 of them said they would suck a toe in their intro package, so it
I
must have come up.
listen, no kink shaming. People like all kinds of things. There are some foot freaks in the villa this season.
It must be some focus group that they have who's like, please mention it, because it's coming up a lot.
I mean, on like a horny show like Love Island, pandering to like a relatively mainstream fetish community can only be a positive for your ratings, I
I,
fear.
I feel like it's like a very entryway, like dirty
Yes.
conversation that Peacock will allow.
Yes, very true. Um, so once all the women come in, Ariana makes her grand entrance. She's in this like almost like chainmail dress. It honestly, she looks so hot. And she's like, "You are like the hottest people I've ever seen. This is gonna be the best summer ever." It's like, I don't know. I feel
It's
excited.
she's so funny. She comes in, she pours her, she's like, hold on, I need a drink too. Like, you're not the only ones drinking here. She over pours her champagne, it's spilling everywhere. She's super funny, and I love how much she loves being there, which I think you
Yes.
can really feel. And so when she is asking all of the women these questions, I feel like she genuinely does look out for their best interest, or like wishes that they would make better decisions over the course of the season.
Yes, like the Ariana is that perfect sweet spot of she loves Love Island. It's documented over the years how much she loves it. She also has just so much reality TV experience that she knows what will make good TV, what will like even like where she stands, she's always standing in the right place for the camera. She knows how to prod the women, and she did a great job all last season as well, but I do think that it was like she had to ramp up a bit just because I'm sure she was nervous doing her literal dream job last season at the start. But this, I feel like this could have been 2 days after season 6 ended. She is in the zone. She has like fully embraced hosting Love Island, and she does a wonderful job at it.
Yeah, for sure. And so she has a couple conversations here. I don't think we learned anything too valuable in these conversations. Like, I want someone goofy and romantic. Like, so does everybody, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
like, there were a couple of good conversations, but really, this is just the segue to bring in the men.
Yes. And then the men come in. And so our first two men are Nicholas and Ace. And this is where we get people have been on social media. Oh my God, Ace and Shelly know each other. They've liked so many of each other's posts. It's a plant, it's fake, they're scheming. No, because if this was fake, they would not have immediately been like, oh my God, we've met before. They would have kept that secret. So I'm pretty sure there's just an invisible string tying Ace to Shelly. And whether that means they're meant to be together or not, who knows? But I'm here for this vibe.
I am unfortunately already very invested. I want to see
Right?
what I want to see what happens. I do. This is not giving planned to me. I don't think this is one of the ones that we're going to look back on and question if it was all a big setup. It feels too perfect, especially the fact that like they're both OGs here. I
Mhm.
think this is super interesting. I'm wondering, did production know this kind of thing? Because there's been so much of production does or does not do, super deep background checks. And so is this something else that they missed, or were they excited for this potential storyline?
Yeah, I think this is something where it could go either way. I don't think production would be against this, right? Because even if they thought that there was like a bigger history there, that's dramatic and they would want that for the show. And if there's not a history there, then that's a really unique and exciting story. But they had met in New York outside of a club, but she's like he lives in LA, she's in New York. Like it's a bi-coastal
Yeah.
romance can be tough. So they talked on Instagram, but they never actually really went on a date. Um, so Ace is 22. He is from LA. He has a dance company. He's 5'10", and he is talking like he is a short king when 5'10" is fully the average height of a man in the United States of America.
Yeah. He's
Um,
like, me and you, Lisa, we get it. Like, no.
he's he's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I would love to talk. You're 6'2", 6'3". Like, I can get with it. It's like, well, that's wonderful. Love the confidence. Love that would not intimidate you. Lots of men would be intimidated by that. But also, you're not short. You're literally average, and that's okay. um,
Yeah.
have you seen the video of Ace teaching all of the Pakistani men to dance on TikTok Live?
That's why when he says like he teaches people to dance all over the world, I was like, oh, we know people have dug this up very quickly. So I think immediately gives me a better sense of like a fun vibe that Ace could
Mhm.
be in this villa. And so I am very excited. The whole him and Shelly knowing each other, I think it also kind of immediately introduces stakes into this because like
Yes.
okay, if they don't couple up, then like whatever, no harm no foul. If they do couple up and then one of them ends up going for a bombshell later, like that's going to sting more, even potentially early in the season.
They know each other.
Mhm.
It's a classic. I also liked in the like lip sync intro, Ace had this scene where he's like getting off the bus and everyone on the bus was like, "We love you, Ace." And I thought that was like one of the cuter parts of the intro as well. Then we have Nicholas. He's 24 and he's a registered nurse. He says his patients say he looks like some singer from the 50s. Ever heard of him? James Dean? And I was like, I'm the crypt keeper.
Was that someone that like someone on claim to fame was related to? I don't know. But,
Whatever. You
yeah.
get out of here. You've heard the song Style by Taylor Swift. Stop it.
Okay, fair. But otherwise, I think that feral was like maybe a funny word to describe yourself like a couple years ago, and I feel like it's really overstayed its welcome if it
Yeah.
had one. So,
It's
Nick,
Farrell was very like Deb from season 4 coded.
yeah, yeah. So, it feels like maybe we should be moving into some new lingo. Like that's always what I'm coming to Love Island for. Like, give me something funny to
Yeah.
say for the next 6 months.
Period. And then he says, "Oh, I've been to 44 countries, and there's all different types of women from different countries. It's like the different types of food, different types of spices, and I like my food spicy." And I was like, "Shut up immediately. That's so gross. Like that's such a weird thing to say."
When he's like, I just want like a little bit of crazy, like we got a roller coaster. I was like, ooh,
It's that
like
that meme with the woman with the chip bag on her head. It's like, "Oh my god, I love her. She's so crazy." That's what Nicholas wants.
wow, good job, Nick.
So then we get Taylor coming in, and he is 24 from Oklahoma. Shout out Sasha. He is a rodeo competitor, but is training to become a veterinarian who wants to focus on horses. He says that if a woman has ugly feet, that is a deal breaker because if she, quote, can't take care of her feet, how's she going to take care of me? To which I said, "You have a black toe, sir. Take care of your own feet."
The reveal that then he has had a horse stomp on his foot was so funny because I'm like, he can't help that, but he's judging other people. Like,
Yeah.
was so funny, but and to the point where even like the girls are like hiding their feet from him because
Yeah,
so.
I just the way he said it was so like again, there's nothing wrong with being like liking feet or like having a preference for feet, but it's to couch it and like if someone doesn't take care of their feet, that means they like won't be a good partner is so crazy to me. But again, he is 24 years old.
Yeah.
And he needed to go to Love Island because he doesn't want to be with someone who everyone's already been with in Oklahoma. And when he comes in, I don't even know who asks. Someone goes, "Oh, do you ride like horses or do you ride a pony?" Which, first of all, I feel like that's a really rude thing to say, like implying that he's a child that would
Well,
ride
but
a
even
pony.
like it was like giving judgy. And what if he rides a pony? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly. And what about
and what
it?
if?
And Shelly goes, "Oh, I didn't know ponies were real. Like I just think of like My Little Pony."
I feel like I've heard this. Like people are equating ponies with like unicorns. Like, what is going on? Like, open the schools.
Literally open the schools. Um Oh, I also forgot to mention the moment that horrified me the most when Ace and Nick came in, but if I had to hear it, there's people listening who didn't watch the
Uh-oh.
show and you need to hear it too. And so when they come in, I can't even remember who said it, but Ace mentions that he's 22 and they go, "22? You're a baby. You still got breast milk on your breath. You're a baby." And then Nick goes, "I'm 24, so I don't have any breast milk on
So
me."
that's the cutoff, like 23 and a half. Like, where is okay? Yeah, I didn't like this either.
And I'm like, "Listen, I will also say you're 22, you're a baby, because I reserve the right to say that anyone even one day younger than me is a literal infant, and anyone even one day older than me is the crib keeper because it's funny. But I don't think I would ever say you have breast milk on your breath.
Please don't.
Like,
No, thank
we
you.
want something that we could say all summer long, and that is not it. Anyway,
It's
sorry.
not gonna be my quote of the summer, gotta say.
I probably won't say it a lot, but I will probably be thinking about it a lot, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Now let's talk about
Now
next boy, Austin.
we have to talk about Austin, who I am not sure who bleached his hair, but they like he wanted a bleach and tone, like a bleach and tone, and I think that they were like tone question mark.
I think it's the chlorine from being the
And
pool
that is
technician.
a very fair point if he's in pools all the time. But like, is a pool boy going in the pool?
It, I don't know the level of detail that he is providing in his services.
But yeah, so he's 26. He is originally from Michigan. He now lives in Fort Lauderdale. And yeah, he's a pool boy. He falls in love easily. His move at the bar is if he wants to talk to a woman, he will quote accidentally knock over her drink so he can be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me buy you another one," and then talk to her, which like I feel like is like smooth-ish, but just like why can't you just talk to people? Why can't you like,
No, I
"Hi, I'm
unfortunately think this would
Austin."
work. I unfortunately think that this like would really work.
Yeah, I honestly think he probably should not have shared this one on Love
Yeah.
Island USA because he's caught.
But throw an extra tip to the bartender that you're making clean up this drink that you're knocking over, please.
I or at least like pick a woman whose drink's almost empty,
There you go.
Waste not, want not.
There you go.
And yeah, he wants a big family. He wants to adopt kids. He wants to have his own kids. He
Admirable.
I mean, and good for him. I don't think he knows what he wants, and that's
Yes.
okay.
I'm curious with Austin. I'm curious to see if this is quite the real Austin that we're getting, or like how he develops. He has been a little bit more reserved, as some people
Mhm.
have pointed out. So I'm wondering, is he like settling in, not necessarily his true self yet all the way, or what are we getting? Because I don't know. I don't feel like I have a good read on him.
I feel the vibes are sinister, but I don't have a reason to say that. It's just
Well,
like a gut.
not a
Well,
TV reason.
we've gotten. I don't have a TV reason to feel that way. So I'm just gonna continue feeling that way, and that's fine. Then, and also no, Austin came in on the boat. Him and Yulissa have so much in common. It's crazy.
Which to me, like, if you're not coming in the back of a Jeep with your hands in the air, like, go home.
Yeah, why are you even here? What? No, who comes in on a boat? That's so embarrassing. Like, if I obviously like I would have never had an opportunity to be on Love Island because I've never been Love Island hot, which is fine. I'm fine. But if I had ever had the opportunity to be on Love Island and they said you're coming in on the boat, I'm jumping off the boat. Like, I'm
uh,
sorry, it's not happening.
it works if you're like three bombshells coming in together. I think
Yes.
that's the vibe.
Like
But
a daytime speedboat with 3 hotties?
yes.
Yes. A nighttime boat alone? No. Like,
Look,
no.
look. And then we have Jeremiah, who is
Yes.
25 from LA. He is the model slash caterer slash nerd slash
Yes.
bookworm slash video gamer, parentheses, Fortnite player. He is
Such a nerd. He's so different.
he's giving us all his sides. He says if he is on the scale of fuckboy to great guy, he's like 3/4 towards the great guy because, you know, he cheated once before, but that's really made him who he is now. He learned a lot from it. I'm curious to see where he really falls on the scale.
Yeah, if he's actually 3/4 of the way between great guy and fuckboy, that's probably like pretty close to the ideal range for like a relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I believe him. Uh especially considering he's like, oh, I love video games, and then he like could barely remember the name of Fortnite. Like, I'm just a little curious,
To me,
how much of a nerd bookworm video gamer he is.
to me, it was giving we have moved on from Fortnite and he has not, and so he is embarrassed.
And we'll see. I think that he recovered into that, but it was a little
Fair enough.
interesting. But again, I don't care. He's allowed to play whatever video game he wants to play. So good for him. Jeremiah's really cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, unfortunately, I'm really worried about what his character might be because, generally speaking, when I find an islander on Love Island to be particularly attractive, they end up being absolutely vile. So I just hope maybe I've grown and I'm wrong this time.
I'm hoping for fun mess because he
Yes.
is reading messy to me, and that is ultimately my favorite character anyway.
It's like, how people say New York is like the fifth character in Sex and the City.
Okay.
Mess is the additional character in Love Island.
It's the first character for me.
Yeah, same. Honestly, we love Mess. So they did the initial coupling up in a new and exciting way this year. So they had the men stand on platforms. The women each got to choose two men to make out with, and then they would pick one of those two men to couple up with. And the order of the women was by random draw. Scally, what did you think of this structural change?
I feel like we're just trying things to try them at this point. Like we've had a couple good ones in the past. I thought 2 seasons ago with I forget exactly what it was called, but like the kiss or swap was fun.
Sticker
twist. Yeah, I thought that was super fun. I thought last season where they played like a series of truth or dare, I questioned it for sure at first, but it seemed to heighten some of the emotions right off the bat. So I was like, all right, you know what? I was wrong. This is fun. And now I feel like maybe we're getting kind of the halfway in between medium of this. And I don't dislike this at all either. I just am confused why we keep changing.
I mean, I think that ideally for them, they don't want anyone to fully anticipate what's going to happen on day one. So I think they want to have a rotation of a couple of different ways they can do the start of the game. And I think you're right. All of the last three have been really fun. I like that they're not just doing the traditional like season one Love Island choice. Like I like that they're twisting it up, and it's fun that we don't know what's gonna happen. And maybe next year they'll do sticker twist again. Maybe next year they'll do this again. Like I like the idea that they are keeping us all guessing.
Okay, I like the little Mario Party mini game aspect to it, I guess, in
Yes.
that place. But what did you think of how this played out? Obviously, Shelly goes first. She is swerving the boys left and right, ultimately going to Austin and then Ace for her two makeouts.
Yes, I love the drama. Yes, please. Like, let's get everyone really anticipating and wondering what's gonna happen. And she picks Ace, so I'm like, yes, invisible string, like we're here, like oh my god, they're gonna win the season. Like I was immediately all in on Shelly and Ace. Then the second to pick was Huda, and she kisses Jeremiah and then Ace and picks Jeremiah. And I think she was always picking Jeremiah. She says she liked what he said about like his philosophy on family and relationships. And so I think
I mean, Huda said, I like pretty men and picked a pretty man. So this wasn't very shocking at all. I like that she did go for the only man that was coupled up. Like, you know what? This is who I also want. But, just the fact that he's the only one that has someone standing beside him is not going to stop me.
Yes.
And then we do press on the brakes a little bit going into Bella.
Yeah, Bella does a kiss on the cheek with Taylor, and then a kiss on the cheek with Nick, and then picks Nick and is like, I feel like we're at prom. Girl.
Which to me is like, yeah, you're 22. You just were. Like a 27-year-old is not saying I feel like we're at prom.
Well, yes. I I'm not feeling the vibes between Bella and Nick.
Yeah, I think he's looking for the off ramp very quickly. I think he's like, this is fine and I can make this work, but I want to feel wanted and I don't feel like that whatsoever right now.
Yeah, which is like, it's fair to not want to kiss people the first day you meet them, and it's also fair to feel rejected when you don't get the experience you thought you were going to get. Like, it's not like either person is invalid in their actions, but it's also like, this is Love Island, so probably expectations were different than what Bella delivered, which is, again, she's an
I think
adult
it's
woman with agency.
pretty much everyone here is going to be pretty open to exploring. So, but it just felt like Bella in their continued conversations showed like a little bit of interest, but still very little.
Yeah, it just, I wasn't feeling any sparks. And maybe none of the men are like Bella's specific type, right?
Well,
Uh
especially because Nick was saying that his like love languages are physical touch and I think Ariana joked like, so you want them to be horny. Like I don't
yes,
think that
and
this was a match.
as she should, because so many men go out there like, oh, it's my love language. My love language is just physical touch. So you're not loving me properly if you don't give me that. Shut up. Love languages are designed so you can get to know what your partner needs and give it to them. It's not about going, give me what I need, me. No, it's about giving love to your partner, not asking for a specific type of love. That's like, which, and also it's fake because everyone likes all of those things, but like, it's not supposed to be like, I like physical touch, so if you don't sleep with me, you're not giving me what I need, which is what it has turned into for a lot of shitty men.
Yep. And then I really like that Alandria goes for the exact two guys that Bella went for and does full on makeout sessions with them.
It was like that Alandria make out with Taylor. I was like, is she pregnant now? Like at the end of that, like, holy smokes. And so she also gave Nick, a little loving too. But she picks Taylor. She loves a southern man. She loves a country guy. So it was like, Taylor is literally her type on paper.
It was so funny how she came into the villa and was like, "Oh yeah, I was trying to hide my country accent," and then now when she's with Taylor, like it's full country, like it is no hiding it anymore.
Like, oh, I wish I had a fishing rod. It's like, you want to fish in Fiji? Put her on Survivor. I'm so serious.
She was talking about breaking out the chicken livers. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever you need.
listen, not my idea of a fun activity to do, but for those that enjoy, I'm glad that you do. And actually, I was gonna say chime in on if chicken liver works well as bait, but actually, please don't. That's not my business. What people do when they're fishing is none of my concern. Then Elisa goes. She goes to Ace first and does like a pretty aggressive makeout with Ace while Shelly's right there. And I'm, of course, like, Shelly and Ace are getting married. What's wrong with you?
Ooh, yeah. Well, Ace has already had makeouts with two other women here, so I think it's like, all right, I gotta really make my mark if I'm gonna do something about this. And then she goes and for Jeremiah when he's like, I'll give you a kiss on the cheek.
I loved this. I
I
thought this
screamed.
was so funny. And then Elisa's like, oh, well, that was so respectful. That was so sexy. But she picks Ace, steals him from Shelly. Later, she's like, well, it's just hard because that was based on looks. But like, I don't date people based on looks. And it's like, well, so why'd you do it? She's like, it's not for drama. I'm like, yes, it is. And that's okay. It's okay to do things for drama. And just like, you don't have to say anything. You could just say, I was most interested in them.
Encouraged even. I would prefer if no other better reason than go for drama. So I was a little shocked that Austin is still standing there single. No moves were made on him for quite some time
Yes.
since the first person to go. Now Shelly having her man in Ace stolen at the end does then default to Austin, which did work out since it is one of the two guys that she expressed interest in the first round.
It worked out fine for now, but I don't think it will be going the distance, which is fine. We love when the house is fluid at the start and everyone's like dating around and figuring out who they like the most.
Exactly. I almost liked that they were forced to get to know other people, so then it means more when they get together.
Agreed completely. So then they all go on a little house tour. They take some photos in the photo booth. It's very cute. And all of the couples kind of have an opportunity to chat. Did any of these conversations like really stick out to you? Like, because I feel like a lot of this is not going to matter in 48 hours time.
To me, it was Hutta and Jeremiah where I was like, this feels serious. Like, it feels like
Yes.
a very quick development. I mean, at the point where he helps her stand up and walks away, she's like, love you, bye. Ooh, didn't mean to say that. Like, it is very quickly developing between this and their next conversation. I think this is a couple to watch out for.
It's and that's the thing that's so hard with a new relationship like this is it's like, is it a when you know situation or is it a love bombing situation? It's hard to tell sometimes until later on.
I think that Jeremiah's like he makes a point later to be like, it could just be the environment. Like, there's very much a world in which this environment encourages you to feel like you should
Yes.
go all in and you should be much more lovey-dovey and coupled up than I would be in the outside world. And I think that that is a very large part of this. I mean, he does admit that he is still at least 25% fuckboy. So
Yes.
I would not be surprised to see if that's not coming out. But Hutta does have her guard up. She wants to make sure that this is not just all words. And she comes very close in their later conversation to revealing that she has a child.
Yes, they literally are sitting talking and about like rent. Like she's like, "Oh, do you have a roommate?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have one roommate, but I live in LA. Rent would be like 4,000 a month plus." She's like, "Well, I have my own place. My rent is over 3,000." And he's like, "Oh, well, what's your other room for? Is it an office? Is it whatever?" And she's like, "I'll tell you later. It's not that later." And it's like, I think she should have just said it.
I'm like, because if I'm him, I'm like, is it for a boyfriend? Like, what is this for? Like,
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 imagine it's like her ex.
you know, she said no roommate, but like, I don't consider him one. I don't know. It
It's
just
like,
was.
I'm married and I'm ethically non-monogamous. That's my
What
husband's
is this
room.
room for? Like, are you doing science experiments? Like, what could this possibly be for? I'm so confused. I think that it's the number one thing I am waiting to see is his reaction to her telling him that he has a child, that she has a child.
Yes, me too. That's like the top story, and then the second story is like Ace and Shelly and what's gonna come from them.
Yeah. And
Um,
good on Jeremiah for like being like, no, it's okay. Actually, we can talk about it later, because I might say that, but I would not be thinking about it. I would need to know now. Like, I don't know that
yeah,
I can.
I agree. I would be wanting to know right now. I'd be so curious, but I think it's such a green flag that he like
Yeah.
sensed that she was uncomfortable, clearly didn't want to talk about it. She said straight up, like, I'll tell you later.
Mhm.
So the fact that he respected that, even though like he must have been dying of curiosity, is that's more to the nice guy side than the fuckboy side for sure.
For sure. Yeah, he caught himself. Brought himself to the 75%.
um the boys all talk and Ace mentions that like, yeah, Lisa's cool, but like I'm open. Jeremiah says, I'm not totally closed off, but like it's my favorite basket.
I loved that where he's like, I'm not putting all of my eggs in one basket, but it definitely is my favorite basket. Like, that was funny.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. They have their first night, which I feel like, okay, I might be remembering wrong because my brain is bad. So please don't come for me if I'm stupid right now. But I feel like normally something crazy happens the first night before they go to bed, of like a bombshell or like someone going into the hideaway or like
Hmm.
like recently, or has that always been on the second day and I'm just dumb?
I would say usually it would be day 2. I mean, the other thing is usually they're coming in during the day, all in their bathing suits, not like in their formal wear at night. So the
Yes.
schedule already feels a little bit thrown off to me. So, and I like that they do give them that first day to solidify just a little bit, because I think that if the bombshell came in within 2 hours, like, okay, I didn't know you anyway.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a really good point that they all came in at night is what's throwing me off.
Yeah,
I did not put that together. Like obviously I noticed it was different, but I didn't put together that
sure.
that's why the timeline felt skewed. Um, so then, in the first night, Jeremiah and Huda were making out in the bed. Day one.
I knew this was one to watch. I knew this was the couple that at least is burning very quickly and brightly. If they can sustain that, we will see. But it is, some early risers here.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Oftentimes, the things that burn the brightest burn out the quickest, and it's not so much an indication of a strong connection as it is a willingness to engage in the experience, which could mean turning heads and going with other people. It's too soon to tell. We'll have more information as soon as tomorrow.
I mean, either this is a relationship that develops really strongly, really fast, and it lasts the whole time, and wow, what a love story we get to watch unfold, or they burn really brightly and then fall apart just as quickly, and it's a giant mess that we get to watch.
And I'm happy either way, truly. Um, the next day, we kind of do see like it seems like Yulisa and Bella are like maybe being a little bit friends. They're talking about how they're both kind of timid to like with men and they have that in common. So we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah, it
Uh
was a little bit of a relationship where back home, Lisa's more of a scaredy cat. She doesn't put her feet out, like put herself out there necessarily and jump all in, which is funny because then when Ariana comes in, she's like, people are playing it safe. It's like, yeah, that's what you said you do.
it's such a weird thing to say, but I think that uh perhaps Elisa is on the show to build a social media following is perhaps her motivation. So I think she's always going to try to say what will make the best TV to try to get screen time.
I think Lisa would do well to have things taken away from social media more than adding to them.
I just if anyone is going on any show, it's a good idea to think what's out there.
Hmm.
What is out there that people could possibly see and make judgments on before they meet me, and maybe do a little cleanup. Even
Well,
if you've never said anything that bad, just do a run through. Social media's been around for a long time. You never know what you said when you were like 16 that you don't want people judging you based on today.
I mean, blatantly, to put it bluntly, there is a video that is of allegedly Elisa where she is saying the N word. So, and that's why you'll see why we are pretty out on her.
Yeah. It's not great. Not good. Very,
And by
very
pretty, I
bad.
mean all the way. So,
Yeah. So we are in fact biased. We are human beings in addition to journalists, and deal with that what you will, y'all.
yep.
How we feel. So Shelly and Austin kind of have a little bit of a chat. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm just not seeing it from them. They're talking about like what they want in their future. And I'm just like, I just don't see you in each other's futures.
To me, this is giving a relationship that could theoretically last a couple of recouplings. If Ace was not in here, I would not be like, this is never going to work. They have to break up immediately.
Yeah.
But I think we know, they know, especially Shelly knows that this is not the long term. And Ace is kind of just like over in the corner every time. Her eyes are just peeking over there. What's he doing? Can I go talk to him? And I don't think that she is locked onto Ace, but I think she is much more intrigued by Ace at this moment.
I would agree. Yes. Uh this is of course when they also Nicholas made breakfast for Bella and it was toast with peanut butter on it, truly like lowering the bar of Love Island breakfasts for everybody. Uh And he says it was really gross to make because he hates peanut butter. And so I'm like seriously suspicious of him because he's clearly not allergic to it. So what's the
Yeah.
problem?
Look, okay, sometimes we hate foods, and that's valid. If we really have strong aversions to foods, that can happen.
Peanut
But
butter?
yeah, not peanut butter for me personally. To me, this looked better if it looked like the toast was toasted better. But
It might have just been bread with peanut butter on it.
which look, I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I'm
um
not too good for a peanut butter sandwich.
it's not what I'm ordering for the first day in the villa.
I Far be it for me to judge food aversions, as I have many. But peanut butter? Crazy.
I feel like it's not
Psychopathic.
uncommon.
It's not uncommon to hate peanut butter.
They're wrong, but it's not uncommon.
Sound off in the comments. We want to know, do you like peanut butter? Do you hate peanut butter? Am I crazy for thinking this is a red flag? Let me know. Listen, we have so little to work off of so far. I'm like, I've got my binoculars on. I'm like bird watching, like Cordelia Cup in the residence, looking for the clues. I'm trying to find the red flags before everyone else does.
Now, we do actually get a conversation between Ace and Shelley where they talk about the fact that even Ace could feel Shelley had a little bit of hesitation in picking him on this first day, that she felt almost biased against picking him, thinking that
Mhm.
like it's too easy. It is like I'm pushing against my natural inclination because if I do this, maybe I'm not going to give anybody else a chance. But ultimately, she just had to trust the process, go with her first gut, and source this out because I don't think that she was going to be able to get her mind off of Ace if she didn't
Yes.
first rule him out as an option.
Ace says, I think it's fate that we're both here.
Look,
Like,
I don't know if I was 22 talking about how I was fated to meet someone, but for Ace, if he is ready for that type of commitment, it seems like they are very much ready to dive headfirst if they had been allowed to couple up together.
yes. And the thing is it's like, yeah, when I was 22, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm fated to meet someone specific, blah, blah, blah. But also, like, the total, uh, just randomness and serendipity of them randomly meeting in New York when he's not even like from New York, and then matching online like via Instagram but never actually meeting up, and then both being on the biggest reality show in the world at the same time, both at
Yeah.
the start. Like, I could see that feeling like fate, whether it is fate or coincidence or if fate's even real.
For sure. And I think that they are correct to explore this. I think that whether it works out, and that was the purpose of them being here to explore this, awesome, or it does not, I think that it will be very helpful for them to rule that off. And then
Yes.
they don't have to be jealous if one of their friends ends up with the other one of them, or think whether with if Shelley and Austin were somehow an actually good match, which I don't think it is, but if they were, she's not going to be thinking, did I miss out by not exploring with Ace first?
100%. Then we get to the first night. Austin like loves little frogs, which I guess is endearing. Like, frogs are cool.
Sure.
Eh, I don't know. But then we get fire pit. Ariana comes in a stunning dress with beautiful a wavy mane of hair, and it's time for a challenge. And rather than what we normally get in the first episode of Love Island, where it's like a truth or dare card game or like suck and blow, they all have to put on blindfolds. Raise your hand if you want to kiss someone, and then you'll get to kiss the people of your choice while they're blindfolded and they won't know who kissed them.
Look, I was shocked to see that less than half of the people in this villa were trying to kiss somebody else. Like, Ulysses saying that they're all playing it too safe, and yet she decides that she doesn't want to kiss anyone else. Like, okay, you are part of the problem here,
Yeah,
apparently.
I also think that like having the hand up is like a fun twist, but they really could have just done everyone's blindfolded and everyone gets a turn to kiss whoever they want to or don't want to. And then you
Sure.
get the moment of like, oh, Bella just walked up. Will she kiss someone? Will she not? And then of course she won't because it's day 2, which I guess still counts as too early. But like, I think that would maybe have given a little more drama than the hand raise at this point. But Nick kissed Alandria. Shelly kissed Ace. Alandria kissed Ace. And then Ace kissed Shelly and Huda.
Which I liked. I was like, yeah, this is the time. It's early enough in the season. If you want to explore, I think this is that moment.
Yes.
They all seem pretty open to it for the most part, even if they are not necessarily taking the initiative. So I think Ace is not wrong to be exploring options early.
No, 100%. This is the correct time to do it. Like, anyone who's going to be upset about someone kissing multiple people at this point in the season is not in the true spirit of Love Island and should go home anyways. But
like, let me
twist,
introduce you to some of the challenges that are coming later.
Yeah, right? Like, you ain't cut out for this. It's fine. So 2 new bombshells enter the villa during this challenge. So we have Charlie, who's 27 from the UK, and Sierra, who is 25 from Arizona. I also feel like having a man and a woman come in together is unique and interesting.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, how are we doing the first elimination? Is there going to be either one more man or woman that is going to come? Are we going to have a public vote for the first? That seems very unusual.
Yeah, like I wonder, will a couple get eliminated? Will more people come in before the fire pit? It's all, up in the air right now, and we will find out. So both of the bombshells get the opportunity to do kisses, and Charlie kisses everybody, but is respectful to Bella and just gives her a kiss on the cheek, which is very cute. And Sierra kissed all of
Everybody.
them. And good for her, as you should. They then go into the hideaway together, and everyone, has their blindfolds off. And Irina says, okay, well, like, nobody has to say if they kissed anyone, but I want you to put your hand up if you got a kiss, which of course everybody does. And she says, well, the last kiss you got was from a new bombshell. Put your blindfolds back on.
Ooh. Now, the blindfolds go back on and they get the option. Do they want to get to know the bombshells better? They will indicate so by raising their hands. We obviously don't see who does raise their hand. Now, Kirsten, who's raising their hand?
Nicholas for sure is
Number
raising his
one on the board.
hand.
No question.
That's easy. I think Ace will raise his hand because he's exploring, and like as he should. I think that Elisa will raise her hand. She had like a pretty aggressive kiss with Charlie.
My thing is, someone like Elisa or Austin should be raising their hand. Even a Bella, but
Yeah.
they didn't take the opportunity to kiss anyone when it was voluntarily by like their choice. So I'm wondering, are they going to be proactive now?
Yeah, but it could also be a situation where it's like they don't really like any of the people that are already in the villa, but the opportunity of meeting someone new is exciting. Meeting someone new means maybe more screen time.
I'm not gonna lie, I really would have laughed if Bella put her hands up and walks around the circle and kisses everybody on the cheek. That would have been really funny.
I would have laughed, and if she had done that, she would have had to kiss the women too, like everybody on the cheek. That would have been honestly an iconic moment in television.
Yeah, I really want to explore my connection. Let me go give him a little peck on the cheek.
You can totally tell the chemistry you get from a kiss on the cheek. Absolutely.
A blindfolded kiss on the cheek.
That would have been so funny.
Now, do you think some of the people that seem to be in not set relationships, but have their eye on someone more specifically. I'm talking Shelly, I'm talking Alandria, I'm talking for Jeremiah, Taylor. Anybody raising their
Kate,
hand here?
I don't think Alandria is going to raise her hand. If Taylor raises his hand, I'm gonna be so mad because I'm like already deeply committed to this like Southern romance situation that Alondria and Taylor have going on. Uh, I could see Shelly wanting to explore and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not with the person that I like super want to be with, so a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, so to say.
That's fair.
I don't know. What do you think?
A lot of them keep telling me how much they want the full experience and to want to be exploring. So I'm like, well, then raise it. Like, prove it.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to say and another thing to actually, raise
For
your
sure.
hand and do it, especially on, day 2. It's their first time on TV. There's a lot of cameras and lights. Ariana looks hot as hell. It's hard. It can take time to warm up to the TV of it all. So it could be ultimately a disappointing result tomorrow night. I feel like if everyone put their hands up, they would have shown us in
Yeah.
tonight's episode the hands actually going up. So that leads me to believe not very many people are actually putting their hands up.
I'll be very disappointed if it's like only Nick. That'll be a real flop.
I would be disgusted if it was only Nick. Like, I would be so pissed
Sierra's
off.
just sitting there alone. Like, just release her into the villa at that point.
They would never do that. I at that point it would be like, okay, well, none of y'all raised your hands. Too bad. She's picking. She picked this one based on the kiss.
Ooh.
You have to go.
I'd be fine with that.
Because I feel like that's often how things work with someone new coming in is they just go, I want to go on a
Sure.
date with that one. And then that person has to go on a date. So they would never leave her all by herself. That would not be in the spirit of Love
Agreed.
Island. But yeah, that is it for the premiere episode. Scally, do you have any last thoughts? Anything we missed? Anything we really need to touch on?
I think that a big tradition of our premiere is give me the couple that's going to last the longest and the couple that won't even be together by next episode.
Ooh, okay. I believe in Alondria and Taylor, and I'm picking them because I'm going based on who's a couple currently, right?
Okay.
Not who like should
I
be together.
I'd be willing to count Shelly and Ace as a option, but that's up to you.
I feel that like Ace and Yelisa, Shelly and Austin are the two that won't be couples next, like in a couple next episode. And so I feel like if I want to go with that, then choosing like Ace and Shelly
Gotcha.
is cheating a little bit.
Okay, fair enough.
How do you vote?
I am going to go with I think Alandria and Taylor are going to be my long-term option, but in the interest of picking someone else, let me bet on Hutta and Jeremiah. I don't know that I actually think this is sticking for the long term, but I think it is probably the next best option of the couples that are currently together. And then I'm going to say Bella and Nick are breaking up. There's no chance.
Oh yeah, it's curtains. It's curtains for them.
We are 0.1 second away from Nick ditching Bella.
I like already forgot they were a couple because I'm just like, it's done. He's gonna be with Sierra.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So we'll see how that goes on the next episode. We of course will be back after the Friday episode of Love Island to talk about, I guess, episodes 2, 3, and 4. And then we will do a weekly schedule where we talk about the first half of the week, probably on Tuesdays, but sometimes they play with the schedule and it ends up being a Wednesday situation. So we kind of have to wait and see when the episodes are coming out. And then we will always come together on the Friday after generally a recoupling and break it all down twice a week for the whole season. And once again, if you're listening on Hot Dimmies on Islands, If you're listening on We Know Reality TV, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. When the We Know Love Island feed pops up in a day or so, we would appreciate subscriptions, ratings. It will help new people to find the show, which allows our show to have longevity on RHAP. So we would really, really, really appreciate that help, because honestly, if the new feed flops, I am going to be so embarrassed. So please don't embarrass me like that.
Yeah, I will be more embarrassed than Austin standing alone at the end of ups.
And
So.
you can't, like, listen, maybe you could do it to me. You can't do it to Scally. Let's be clear. It's not possible. And so that is it for episode 1. But don't worry, even with all the Love Island content, you can still find us many other places. Scally, where can the people find you?
Ooh, people can find me on Twitter at Brian_Scally, on Blue Sky at Brian Scally with all the stuff behind it, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/bscally. Otherwise, if you're looking for the challenge content, myself and Matt Liguori are over on the Free Agents podcast talking about old school seasons of the challenge, doing an entire rewatch of the franchise, which has been so fun to revisit seasons, to visit some seasons for the first time ever. So if you are an old school challenge fan, the Free Agents podcast is where you should be right now.
Yes, go follow it and check out their Patreon. You can also follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What. And you can also hear from myself and Sasha Joseph every week on Mess Magnets, where we are talking pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics. And you can follow us on Instagram at mess.magnets. And with that being said, we will be back on Friday after the 4th episode of Love Island USA Season 7. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.